Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. World Cup moves on. We got a huge UFC card. Weekend is finally here. Dan, how are you, sir?
Yeah, man, an absolutely loaded weekend. And, of course, we have a loaded show coming your way. I missed the days, though, I will say, Andy, of when there were just like 4 soccer games on a day. You know what I mean? Like this World Cup, because they added so many games, it's tough when it's just one and it's in the afternoon. I get to the evening and I'm like, shit, well, I guess it's back to watching baseball. Well, if you're like me, don't worry. We got winners coming your way in late night baseball action. Diamondbacks and Dodgers. Teddy covers. Best bet coming in that one. He's rocking with a 5%er tonight, and you can take $10 off it. How's that going to happen? We'll let you know here. He's also got Braves Cardinals. Yanni's here with the Steam report. Marco breaking down WNBA. Andy with UFC bets. We'll talk this World Cup match as well. Andy, we start off as we always do, though. Minute into the show. Cashed again yesterday with a cross-sport parlay. We're going back to this UFC event this weekend. You want to bet in the main event? Andy's gotten you on WagerTalk Today play of the day.
Yeah, Kyle Anthony was on yesterday and talked about Max to win by knockout. I'm just going to pay a little bit extra and take Max to win inside the distance. This has been circled on my card since the day they announced this fight. I wanted to wait until the day before because there's just a lot of talk. Is this fight actually going to happen? It is going to happen, and I don't buy Conor McGregor in the slightest. He hasn't fought in 5 years. He has 1 win in his last 3 fights. He's damaged his body with substances. This fight is not going the distance. Conor is basically depending on one-shot knockout in the first round. His cardio has always been a question, even when he was in his prime. I don't know how it gets better when you take 5 years off. Max looks great at this new weight division. He's going to have the volume. There could be a first-round knockout, but if not, once this gets out of the first round, Max is just going to pour it on. There is some bad blood between these guys. Max lost to Conor way back when, though. This was when Max was just getting in the sport, so there is a little bit of a revenge factor here. So I've been waiting to bet against Conor McGregor from the day this thing opened. The fight is going to take place, so we're going to take Max to win inside the distance.
Yeah, I mean, it's one direction for sure. And like you said, Andy, let's be real, like casual fans, they want to come in and they want to bet McGregor. So I like the waiting. I like the thought process there. And for 20 more cents than calling the knockout or TKO, keeps submission, keeps a random fight stoppage in it as well. I like adding that extra 20 cents to the line. WagerTalk Today play of the day. And I'm not sure if our man Isaiah is being facetious with this comment or not, but I can tell you play of the day right here at the top of the show for free, client play, 37 and 24. So yes, winners indeed, Mr. Isaiah Curry. Hit that like button and subscribe, Andy. As you can tell, man, I'm pumped up for today's show. We got Marco, Gianni, and Teddy. You and I, let's ride, brother. This is going to be a good weekend.
Let's bring in Gianni and Gianni, congratulations, because yesterday we cashed on our Thursday hammer. Bobby Witt hit a home run last night.
So ridiculous.
It's crazy out here. If you haven't been in Vegas for McGregor fight, it's a spectacle to behold. That's for sure. I've been here for past McGregor fights, and this one, rest assured, is holding up as far as the excitement level here in the city. I was out last night, and it's absolutely electric. I stepped up and fired. I wasn't going to wait any longer. I expect to see a spike in the betting line on the Holloway McGregor main event because the sharp bettors sat back. We know what they were going to do, and it's just a matter of when were they going to do it. And with sports betting being a zero-sum game, I was out and about. I saw minus 210s available. I said, I got to fire now. Let me get my subscribers down. I even wrote a little note. This line can drop some more, but there's more than enough value for us to fire at minus 210, 220, 225, 30 range where it sits, because I do think it will spike. With that said, there'll be more than enough public money, again, on McGregor that may drive the line down some more. But like I said, I didn't want to take that risk. I fired a 4% on the Holloway side. I have 7 or 8 bets already on this card, and that's a low volume. Again, my goal is low volume, but it's just one of those events where the betting value on the board you're rarely going to get. And if I'm confident that I placed a good bet, obviously I want to win, but I know I did my job, and this card will make you feel that way before it starts. Hopefully we feel good after it starts. Real quickly, Andy touched on the tennis. We had both favorites in the men's side. First got the W. Now we need the second favorite to get there. I just put in a bunch of open-end parlays with Sinner, open-end parlays with Zverev and Sinner. Fill it in with some UFC tomorrow, I believe. And there's the women's final is tomorrow between Muchova and Koskova. I missed the opener on Muchova. It was as low as minus 115 on Bet Online. I don't know how I missed that because she should be about a minus 150 favorite. I thought that's where the opener would be, and there was still a little EV. We have that one with Muchova winning about 63 to 67% of the time. So maybe cut it down the middle, close to 65%, which, you know, at this price offers some value. It has been extracted because the line is moving. It's up to like minus 130 in some spots right now. But it still warrants a small bet. I think it's Muchova or pass in the finals tomorrow. Otherwise, we got World Cup we could cover. We got Major League Baseball we could cover. WNBA, nothing really to talk about. Dallas minus 6.5 in the overnights. But yeah, it's all about Spain today with Belgium, and obviously some Major League Baseball as well.
What an odd Wimbledon final, Gianni. What
right?
in the world happened? Muchova versus Noskova. What are we doing here? So you can still get minus 126 on DraftKings. I'm looking at it right now. So yeah, line's moving. I don't think it's gotten completely out of control, but I know your style. If you just miss the opening line and you don't get the number you wanted, you're mad at yourself.
Yeah, I lose excitement because I always feel like there's going to be a better bet coming up. Like, you know what I mean? At that point, I feel like now I don't feel like I'm chasing, but I'm not with the early group. And I like to have that cushion in my pocket. I don't know, maybe it's just my old school style of thinking. But yeah, if I feel like, even if I bet, like I have a strong feeling on something, Andy, and I want to bet it, but I don't think the line's going to move in my direction. Like I have more trouble firing on those instances because then I feel like I have to be right. Like I know I need to be right. But if I know that I'm going to beat the market, then I feel like I did my job. I got in at a good price. I traded correctly. Now, hopefully they do theirs. So maybe it's a way of getting pressure off of myself and saying like, my job's not to pick the winner. It's to find the value, and they have to go out there and get it done. But yeah, that's where I lose interest once the line moves too significantly from me, unfortunately. Sometimes I miss some good bets doing that, but I think long-term it probably saves me some money.
Well, let's finish up UFC. There's been a couple line moves, and then we'll go over MLB, see if there's any movement in other ones. I've not seen any movement on Conor and Holloway. I expected money to come in on Conor after that face-off last night that was making the social media rounds, but really haven't seen that much. The funny one to me is, I don't know what book you're on. Somebody put a decent-sized bet on Alicia Ellison over Gable Stevenson. He was minus 2,800 yesterday. He's minus 1,800. I don't mind it. Like at that point, the price is such ridiculous. Like what do you always say? If he shows up with two legs, we got a chance.
I agree. At one point, one of the really sharp books that I respect, and I actually use them as one of kind of like a pinnacle. They were up to like minus 5,000. And I was like, no, it's getting ridiculous. And personally, I was hoping that they were going to get to like plus 1,900. I was going to get to the window and I was going to fire like a 3% size bet, because at that point, just mathematically, I have to do it because at plus 1,900, my break even is 5%. So like, even if I don't think any fighter at the UFC level is at that 100% range. I mean, yeah, I guess you can make a matchup where it's so one-sided, but it's very rare in a top at that elite level that someone has less than a 5% chance of winning. I mean, even in best traders in the world tell you got to factor in 5% just for black swan events. Like, and again, and in sports betting, maybe it's not 5% for a black swan, like there won't be a war or something, but you got to factor in maybe he had a bad night's sleep. Maybe he had a bad weight cut. Maybe he's just pissed off at his girlfriend. Maybe whatever, like just some things that we can't quantify that makes it where it's not 100%. Because again, if you're laying like 3,000, 4,000, minus 5,000, you got to conclude there's zero chance of that opponent beating them. Like, again, if you're getting to that minus 3,000 range, the break even's 97%. So for you to have an edge, you have to conclude he wins 100% of the time. And Gable Stevens is going to win this fight, obviously. But again, I don't blame anyone for betting Ellison at anything around that, 13, 14, 1,500 range, because it is also at that weight class where you land a big shot and, stranger things had happened, lights out like that. So, absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to probably end up sprinkling a little something on Ellison myself, because I have a feeling some of my off-screen books or even on-screen are just going to make the line so ridiculous as we get the fight day and all those, money line parlays start piling up.
On the books I'm looking at, nothing in Costa Durden. Gondra took a little bit. I feel like Zach Reese is kind of a little bit of a sexy, sneaky underdog pick, but I also think picking some of these underdogs are pretty tough. So some people are forcing it. I'm not a Zach Reese guy. I was when he came off a Contender Series, but I haven't liked his progression in UFC. Basharat, this I don't know if you know this John Garza guy who's fighting Fareed Basharat. He's not bad. He got a terrible matchup. He got a horrific matchup to make his UFC debut, but he'll probably lose, and then they'll give him some cupcakes. This guy's a bet on moving forward.
Is Ponies automatic? That's what he's not. Okay.
No. Okay. He's too raw. He's got good power, but he's fighting a kickboxer who has power and volume.
That was the talk last night out and about. That Ponies that they can't lose, and I was like, I don't know about that. I don't
want to pay minus 258 to find out. I'll be fine if I'm off that fight. So Tong took a little bit of money on draft kicks. Luke Riley's holding strong. Yanez holding strong. Money came in on Krylov. I saw not a ton, but enough to move it from minus 135 to minus 125. So that's not nothing. And on a guy
at first he opened as a favorite. And then Whitaker went as high as minus 200. And then, obviously it started dropping. Again, this is a tough spot for Whitaker, moving up to light heavyweight from middleweight. And he wasn't a big middleweight to begin with. And now he's moving up another weight class. And the jump from middleweight to light heavyweight, that's a big jump. It's not like you're moving from, featherweight to lightweight, or, you're moving up 5-10 pounds. That's a big move. And he's coming off back-to-back losses. And when you zoom out a little more, I think he's like 4-5 over his last 9. So we have seen the decline of Whitaker. Granted, his skill set and he's fought the elite and strength of schedule, give him all that. And Krylov's got one win in his return. But if Krylov is any form of his former self, I don't think he should be an underdog to Whitaker either in this fight. Again, we'll have to see how Whitaker looks at light heavyweight and what Krylov has left. But like the Krylov pre-2 years off against Whitaker, I don't argue with why that book opened him as the favorite. And again, I wasn't surprised that the recreational bettors jumped on Whitaker like it was free money.
Krylov has one of the crazy stories. He disappeared for 2 years. People thought he died in the Russian war. Yeah. And then he just showed up again. He was like, I'm back.
Yeah, like, I'm ready to fight.
Wait a minute.
And he got knocked out twice, too. It's crazy.
Yes. So nothing too much in Green, McKinney, Royval, Kavanaugh, nothing much. Sandhagen, Bautista, not much. And a little bit on Saint Denis. I expect a little bit of money on St. Denis. He looked a little bit bigger than Patty at the weight class, but I still like Patty at plus money. That'd be the way I'd go in that fight. So let's talk a little MLB. Loaded slate today. We're coming up on the All-Star break, but huge card. What are we seeing?
Yeah, I released 2 4% and 2 3%. One's the 4% on the Steam sheet. So yeah, there was a lot of baseball, and I actually agreed. Able to confirm 4 plays, and one that came close. I'll share that one first. Was the New York Mets game 928 minus 120, 125. I was just hoping to get them at a discount. If I could have got like 115, I'd have bet them 110. I'd have laid a 4% on the Mets because I do think the true line should be about minus 130, 135, but just not enough of an edge to lay it right now. 901 Milwaukee plus 115, 909 Colorado 145 and 140, and also the Yankees, the laid 140, laid 145. A total of 2 for you, under 7.5 Cleveland, Miami, over 7.5 Atlanta, St. Louis, under 8.5 Colorado, San Francisco. Real quickly, Spain, unbeaten in 35 games, hasn't allowed a single goal in this World Cup. And big game today against Belgium. I have a future on Spain, huge futures on Spain. We had Spain to make the quarterfinals. They got there. Spain to make the semifinals, Spain to make the final game, and Spain to win it all. Because on paper, I had Spain as the best team, and we were getting a decent price. So I'm going to need Spain today, Andy. I'm probably going to throw a percent or so on Belgium because I do think that the line's a little bit jacked. That plus 500 three-way shouldn't be up that high, but I do think Spain gets past it. I have a strong lean on the totals. We've crushed these World Cup totals, hit another 4% yesterday. If I could get confirmation in the next 45 minutes, a package will be up for that World Cup. Otherwise, I'll be cheering in Spain and hoping they get to those semifinals for me because, again, Argentina, they're live for me too in the future, but I just see they're vulnerable. They're vulnerable. They should have lost to Egypt. France is just so dangerous right now, and they're just playing so well. I'm a little bit worried, but I still have two horses in that race with Argentina and Spain, and hopefully Spain stays alive after today.
Well, you got the best defense in the World Cup, so
yeah,
that's always a good place to be. That's always a good place to be. So, what do you have up for everybody this weekend?
The UFC pass is up. 8 plays in there, or 7 and an 8th coming. Like I said, it's just one of those cards that offering up a ton of betting value, able to confirm. So that's available. Also, Steam sheet is up. Yesterday even had NBA Summer League. I think we hit 2 out of 3 Summer League premium plays. That Steam sheet's up with a 4% in Major League Baseball. Check back within 30 minutes for that World Cup because, again, these totals have been red hot. And big weekend ahead, Steam Room tomorrow. I will be going over the first batch of power ratings. So subscribers, you'll get your first batch of NFL and college football power ratings. Next week, I will be taping at Westgate. I'll release the preseason power ratings for college football, NFL. I'm going to do a couple of videos over there for WagerTalk. So a lot of content coming up next week for NFL and college football. Best of luck this weekend. Enjoy the UFC. I'll be back for last call and hope you guys do some damage this weekend.
Thank you, Gianni. Appreciate it. Always get our Friday shows started off strong. Have a good weekend. Good luck on all those UFC bets. Dan, you got a lacrosse play in play tonight.
Yes.
Excited about that one. A little plus money poke. And we got an MLB prop. Both those sports have been running really good. You're 35 and 22 in lacrosse this year. MLB props are on a 13-4. So we put that pack up if you want some action tonight. Our UFC pack is up for tomorrow. But again, we're running a ton of specials. You can get any handicapper, buy 3 days, get 3 free. That's by far the best short-term special that we have going on. So when you get 1 play, that's fine. But you want 6 days, you get it at half price. So that's up. I was in a bad mood yesterday, Dan. We lost that freaking 5.5 corners bet in the England game, which was or not the England game, the France game.
France.
And it was just, we had 27 shots and only 5 corners, and they missed a corner that the goalie hit out of bounds. And then we had
it was tough. I would make that bet again 300 times over. You know what I mean? Like, that's just one of those where variance just bites you in the ass. Like you said, like it was, the handicap was they were going to be downhill. The handicap was Morocco gives up a lot of corners. They did both of those things, but then we end up losing by the hook. And it sucks when it's one that they missed. You know what I mean? That you're like kicking yourself. And then also once France got that second goal, I knew we were kind of cooked, because then it's just kick the ball around time. You know what I mean? Like, we were downhill. That's when they missed one of them. So, hey, variance bit us in our ass. We're back to play. And you and I cooked up a little something special that the clients will get for this Spain game that I think we're both pretty pumped up for.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll have a play out for clients. It's going to be a same game parlay in the Spain game that we love. And then you have a brutal loss, and this business is strange. Then we have a lucky win. We had the under 89.5 on the Atlanta Dream team total. They have 55 at halftime, and then they go ice cold, and we win by the hook. Like, good luck figuring this.
I was joking with you. I was like, when the Bobby Witt play won, I was like, Andy, how is it that our bullshit Thursday hammer, how dumb is this play bets are the ones that just keep on hitting? But you know, that's the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. So shout out to everyone that tailed on that tennis doubles play. Those women, man, are just an absolute cat. You just not bet on anything else and bet on those two.
Yeah.
So the kid wants to, anybody on this card you think shouldn't be there and will get washed. Some guys are going to get washed and look like they shouldn't be there, but I don't really have Gable Stevenson over Ellison is really the only one where that could look really, really bad. But I as of now, this is one of the best cards I can remember, like on paper. Like on paper, there are going to be some guys that look bad, but I can't figure out who they are. And that's what we've done a good job in the past, is looking up which some guys are going to get completely destroyed. So a couple little things, little news. Scotty Scheffler has officially missed the cut at the Scottish Open. His streak was 78 made cuts in a row. The record, though, is Tiger Woods. 142 made cuts in a row by Tiger Woods. We could do an hour-long video about the records that Tiger Woods holds, but 142 made cuts in a row is truly
that feels
insane.
Unbeatable. That feels like a record
You're never
that will
going to
never
see
be
it
broken.
Beat.
Yeah,
you'll never ever see it beat. The number one player in the world got halfway there, halfway.
Good point.
And couldn't get it. So, and then in one of the, as if the Kawhi aspiration story couldn't get weird, they trade him a week ago, and then the league steps in and says, no, the trade is on hold. What is happening? What is happening?
They have to investigate the Clippers still. You know what I mean? Like, it's like they're trying to really just move past it, and they're like, no, wait, we have an open investigation into your organization right now. You know, so it is a wild saga that seems like it will not be ending.
Yeah. Yeah, so very, very strange things. Didn't you move to bare knuckle now and no longer capping UFC? I did move to bare knuckle. We said we weren't releasing clients until we got our reads right. Our reads have been good, 11-5 in the last 16 plays. Bare knuckle has been good, and we always do our live show on Saturday. That's on the Winning in the Shadows YouTube channel. We got a killer taste test theme that we do tomorrow. Tomorrow's breakfast cereals.
So great choice. I like odds-on favorite for me automatically. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, odds-on favorite for sure.
It of course is going to be in there. So yeah, we listen. We're pretty open when we're not running good in a sport. I will stop putting plays in for clients. We do not need to bury clients on plays in sports that we don't feel comfortable, but it doesn't mean we don't come back to them when we feel better. We paper trade them. The live bets have been running really good. So we feel like the break has really helped us, and we're seeing things much better now. So, all right, let's bring in Teddy.
Rock steady.
Yeah. So Teddy has the 2 to 3 hours per day NFL research officially started, or is that next week?
Oh no, that's 3 weeks ago, man. I'm in
3
great
weeks.
shape. Yeah.
Teddy's like, when did the Super Bowl end? I mean,
when Super Bowl ends, we give it a break. You know, we wait till after the draft before we really get going. But throughout the month of June, I like to work NFL, and into July, obviously with the All-Star break. You know, I take my little vacation every year. I take one vacation. It comes right here at the All-Star break, so I won't be around next week or the following. So I want to get as much NFL work as I can, done before I go. I'll still bring it. I can't walk away from it at this time of year. We'll do some, but I've been working it pretty hard the last couple of weeks. We got short lists now. We're doing the digging that turns a good report, turns a bunch of information into a winning report. So I'm excited about where I am in the process, and I'm still pissed off about what happened last year. I don't lose win totals very often. I don't have bad. See, last year I had a bad year. Nothing broke right. I went back and looked at my short list. I'm like, there were different choices I could have made that would have been better. So I've never I've been doing this for 26 years. I've never had back-to-back losing seasons. Never had back-to-back losing big tickets. 65% long-term, 77% with a 5%. So I'm going to make money with the report this year. You guys can join me or not. It's up to you. But we're not screwing around in 2026. But you guys don't want to buy a report. If you're going to spend $199 for the report, spend $599 and join me from the beginning of the preseason through the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's my 2 cents. But obviously, it's up to you guys. Thank you for your consideration. Cheers.
Yeah, and if you're wondering how the sausage is made, Teddy and I, with Kelly in Vegas, are going to be recording a video that can give you a little peek inside the mind and the process of Teddy Covers when formulating this season win report. So you can grab the plays. You can also find out how the sausage is going to be made right here on the YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed. Teddy, year over year, something that you've talked about when you were hosting this show, something you talk about in your solo videos, is when you're heading into the All-Star break. Sometimes there are some really profitable spots that you can hit with some of these MLB teams. Which teams have the foot out the door? Which teams trying to maybe seize a little momentum heading into it? I believe you have one of these spots that you tab for a 5%er that we'll talk about. But right now, let's talk about the Braves and the Cards. Teddy, man, congratulations to the Cards. His schedule makers really helped them out here. They got to host the best team in the NL Central for 5 games. And what do they get to do to follow up? Here's the best team in the NL East coming to town. Pretty good pitching matchup, though, in game 1 of a 3-game set before the MLB All-Star break. It's Sale and Leahy. How are you looking to bet this Braves and Cards game, Teddy?
Yeah, of course. We always start by looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen. And right now, I'm seeing Atlanta in the -160 to -170 range. If you shop around, you can find a little bit better. Total 8. Some books juice to the over, some books juice to the under. No clear take on that total. From a situational standpoint, the Braves played early start yesterday in Pittsburgh, which is a benefit, but then they're returning home, which is a negative. The Cards played an evening game at home, which is a negative because they played later, but then traveled, which is a non-factor. So any early start edge for Atlanta mitigated by the fact they returned home while St. Louis prepped. So the Cardinals have been very good on the first game of road trips, for what it's worth. They lost the very first one of the season back on April 3rd. Since that, 6-1 in 7 tries in the first game of a road trip. The only other game 1 loss was a game where at Kansas City, a wild game at Kansas City. They ended up giving 14 runs in that contest. But they've been good in games like this at Atlanta, and Atlanta hasn't been good. I mean, this team was 45-21. I know they're still in first place in the NL East, but they were 45-21 back on June 7th after sweeping the Pirates. Since then, they're 10-17, and that includes going 2-1 against the Pirates this past week. Now, the Bats have heated up. They scored 61 runs in the last 9 games, had a 10-run outburst yesterday, but as we know in the big leagues, a 10-run outburst yesterday doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have another one today. And Kyle Leahy, you talked about it, Dan, when you brought up these 2 starters. Kyle Leahy helped my clients and I cash a 3% under in his last start. He threw 5 innings of shutout ball. Every bit as good in his previous start. He's given up a grand total of 5 hits and 1 run with 11 strikeouts in his last 2 outings. His last 3 starts, he's given up a grand total of 1 run allowed. And one of those games gone under. I like St. Louis is hitting right now. They've hit, 175. Scored only 17 runs in their last 5 ball games. And they're going up against Chris Sale, who is pitching like an ace. Atlanta went 4-5. They went 6-1 in his first 7 starts, 4-5 in his last 9. So that has a lot to do with the Braves cooling off and the Braves bullpen cooling off. But opposing teams in Sale starts, I'm just going to run the numbers: 3, 3, 3, 2, 7, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 6, 1, and 0. That's 16 starts, and opposing teams have scored more than 3 runs only twice. And you'd laugh at the two teams. It was the Angels and the Blue Jays. Like, why those two teams? I can't tell you. But Sale's been really good, even though the team is only 4-5 in his last 9 starts. That being said, he's allowed 8 earned runs in 46 innings of work at home this season. So St. Louis isn't hitting. St. Louis is a good pitcher on the hill. Atlanta's hitting, but they got a real pitcher on the hill. I'm looking under in this ballgame. The market's looking under. I'm looking under. If you want a first 5, I wouldn't talk you out of it. But I think full game makes perfect sense to this better. Under 8, Braves and Cardinals.
Yeah, probably a reason that thing's stuck painted at 8, says Teddy covers. Teddy, tonight, before we talk this Diamondbacks and Dodgers game, that's your late night bailout special, folks, that we got to play for you coming up. Teddy, an angle that you really like is on the card tonight, and it was enough for a 5%er, my friend. So tell folks about that. We always say don't buy a play, but if you're going to buy a play, use a code that's going to take $10 off, right, my man?
Sure. So, I mean, the promo code for tonight's big ticket, this is my 3rd big ticket of the season in MLB. I don't put out a lot of them. But the promo code, take $10 off, big ticket 10 at checkout. Again, promo code big ticket 10. But this is one of those scenarios where I was doing work for a free play on this show. I don't have it on this show. I was doing work for a free play. And I started noticing, I'm like, wow, this is, wow, it's one of these under the radar angles. I'm like, wow, this is cashed, I think, 12 straight times. It was a free play for 13. Was a client play for 14. Was a big ticket play for 15. I'm riding this angle, man. I'm going to ride it till it dies. It has cashed 15 consecutive times this season. And, oh, by the way, the team that it's backing, plus price today.
Wow.
Again, big ticket 10, get you $10 off at checkout. I don't put out a lot of big tickets. This one stood out like a sore thumb. Check it out. But as you said, Dan, don't buy plays. Get on board with the package. Buy 3 days, get 3 free. We have the special that gets you through get you all the way in a football season for $2.99. If you want, again, it's $35. Take $10 off for that promo code, big ticket 10. But I encourage you, if you want to get on board, let's partner up and make some money.
Yeah, WT.buzz/TC. And you don't have to remember, any of those specials that he was talking about. We got that triple play all access. That's on his page. We got that buy 3, get 3 days free for just $69. So $25 if you use code BIGTICKET10. That'll get you that 5% play. Like Teddy said, for just a little bit more, you can get some extra access. Get ready to go for this all-star break and be cashing with our man Teddy Covers heading into there. So plenty of ways if you want to get on board. And oh yeah, early access to that win report is also live at Teddy's page. All right, Teddy, enough about that. Let's talk this D-backs and Dodgers game, because you go to the WagerTalk live odds screen and you see Ohtani's name, and then you just say, okay, how do I find a way to bet on the Dodgers? But let's be real. I mean, Ohtani got cleared for this game despite battling a bicep injury, a left knee, and a right hand blister. So Ohtani's coming in here a little bit banged up, but he did get cleared to make this start. So how are you looking to attack Ohtani's final start before he heads to the All-Star break against the Diamondbacks here?
Yeah, the Dodgers obviously in that minus 250 range. If you shop around, you can find plus 220, plus 225 for Arizona. The books that cater to recreational bettors a little bit lower than that. But obviously the Odds Logic live odds screen, the way to go. You can get those free odds. Just visit WagerTalk.com. Check out the live odds screen. That's great. But for the full real time, you got to go to Odds Logic. And obviously the Odds Logic subscription's worth checking out. You talked a little bit about Ohtani and the injuries that he's had. I want to start this by talking about Eduardo Rodriguez, who just made the All-Star team for the first time in his career at 33 years old. Arizona lost his first 2 starts of the season. Since that time, the D-backs 13-4 in Rodriguez's last 17 starts. They've been winning consistently for him. 6 June starts for Rodriguez. Opposing lineup scored more than 1 earned run once against him. He doesn't throw strikeouts. He's not a strikeout hurler. And what happens when you find a veteran pitcher getting guys out but doesn't strike people out? The betting markets undervalue those type of early. Advanced metrics don't love his performance, and that's why you see Arizona as a $2 plus dog in this ballgame. And again, last time out, 6 innings, 2 runs against the Brewers. He's faced the Dodgers twice this season. 1 run allowed in 11 innings of work. They won 4-1. They lost 3-2. Note the two low-scoring nature of those two contests. So Eduardo Rodriguez is very much bet on right now. Even against this lineup, even in this spot. The Dodgers started 2-4 in Ohtani's first 6 starts. They give up. By the way, even though they went 2-4, Ohtani gave up 21 hits and 5 runs combined in the 6 games. Every one of them was a quality start, 6 innings or more, 3 innings or less, but they didn't win 4. Since that time, Ohtani's been every bit as good, and the Dodgers have been dominant, 7-1 in his last 8. You talked about the injuries suffered. Bicep issues, knee issues, a blister on his hand. But he was clear to make this start, and I would expect him to be, if not vintage, Shohei Ohtani, pretty darn close. He beat Arizona 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed back in early June. And it's Ohtani is absolutely as bet on gets. And the Dodgers have been bet on. I mean, you can't lay run lines with the Dodgers. Now, their last 4 wins, 3 have been by a single run. In the late June stretch, they went 7-1 and had 6 wins by a single run. They have 17 one-run wins this year, which is bad news for run line players. Only the White Sox have more. But the Dodgers, 37-15 their last 52 games. They're playing 7-10 baseball over a third of the season. And 13-1 off a loss during that span. They didn't lose yesterday, but that is something worth noting moving forward. They've been great off a loss. Both bullpens are in good shape. Bottom line for this one, I think Arizona is liver than most $2 underdogs. I like Rodriguez. That being said, I don't know that I want to step in front of the Dodgers as hot as they've been. So even though the slight lean Arizona's a value play, I'm not getting there. Lean under, lean first 5 under for this one. I'm not expecting runs in bunches in Dodger Stadium tonight.
Love the breakdown. WT.buzz/TC is where you can get the best bet, the under the radar angle. And folks, okay, he's going to have a play in there, but you also are going to get an angle that Teddy did the work for you on that you can continue to use. So check that out. WT.buzz/TC. Teddy, I'm pumped. We're recording some NFL action after the show here. So more reasons than ever to hit that subscribe button, including some of the solo gamers that you continue to do here on the channel. Teddy, tell folks about it.
Yeah, we've been putting out solo videos, every day. We'll do it all football season, lots of solo videos. We'll do it all basketball season every day. I'm doing these daily doubles. It gives me a chance to talk about games that I'm interested in talking about. It gives you guys a chance, share some opinions, and it gives all of us a chance to enjoy the free content on WagerTalk TV.
Love it. WT.buzz/TC, code Big Ticket 10, or use some of those other promo codes that are over at the page. Like we said, that all access 5% are rocking tonight for Teddy. So Andy, you can tell guy's excited. The guy's excited not just for the play tonight, but that football season looms.
Well, thanks a lot, Teddy. Now I'm going to try and figure out what the damn 15 trend is for the rest of the day. I'm just going to be.
I know. We're going to be going to all our sites. Yeah.
You couldn't do it on a day where there's only 4 games. Now you got to pick the busiest day. Now I got to go through every single game and figure out where's the 15 in a row trend.
I'll see if I can get it out of him. If I can't get it out of him, I know Kelly will be able to get it out of him when we're recording the NFL content right after we're done here, Andy. I'll see what I can do.
We're going to talk with Marco about WNBA, and then after that, Dan, you and I can go over some World Cup games. We got a couple awesome ones tomorrow. I've got some same game parlay videos that are up if you want. There's one for tonight. There's one for an insane England-Norway game. That's going to be like one of the most watched games of the tournament outside of the finals. It's going to be incredible. So, but let's what time is it? 5 p.m. Oh my God, they're going to be running that game against UFC 329. Good Lord.
All the screens. All the screens.
Yep. All right, let's bring on Marco. Marco, you got me last week. We gave away a 3-day pass, and just say I'm going to get you this week. I have a good feeling this week. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. And we had a little fun. I sent you the finger point when I got the job done last week. Sophie.
That's so good. That's so good. Well, we got to talk WNBA. Marco, I'm coming off the luckiest win of my WNBA betting career. We had the under 89.5 on the Dream. They scored 55 in the first half, and I was like, well, this one's cooked. And then they went ice cold, and we won by the hook. So we'll take it. We'll take it. But we got some good games tonight. Wings versus Tempo, Sky versus Sparks. Let's start with this Wings Tempo game. Two teams short-term going in opposite directions. Wings, 3 straight wins. Tempo, 3 straight losses. In those 3 games, the Wings #1 offensive rating in the league. Tempo were 11th. Wings 5th defensive rating. Tempo 14th. You get the gist here. Dallas coming in at -8 over under 178.5. What say you about this game?
Well, we'll look at this one, Andy, and I'm going to try to find some angles for you and find some situations. And you know what? Let's start with Dallas, and they are one of the most improved teams in the WNBA this year, what we're seeing from them. But they're still a young ball club. Think about it. They've had the #1 pick the last couple of years. They're building from the ground up, and they're doing it the right way. But when you've got a young team, you're just starting to learn how to win. Now you got to learn how to cover spreads. And even though Dallas is 5-2 in their last 7 games, they're just 1-6 against the spread in those 7 games. Now we look at the schedule, and this is a really tricky spot for Dallas. They just played in Toronto on July 5th, and they won that game, going away 89-76. Then after that satisfying win, they got an even bigger satisfying win. They went to New York 2 nights later, played the Liberty. We know the Liberty is always one of the top teams in the WNBA, coming off the Commissioner's Cup victory last week and everything else. And what they do? They went into New York and upset the Liberty, 88-77. Now, that was a huge win, to say the least. Now you got to go back to Toronto, okay? You just beat this Toronto team. I worry about them looking past them. This is a spot where we like to look, for situations, and this is the final game of a 4-game road trip. And if you look, Dallas has played 6 of the last 7 games on the road. So I think they're looking forward to getting back home. And Toronto, even though they're not winning, they've been a pesky team. They're 5-1 against the spread the last 6. But I'm not going to go full game here because this Toronto team, as you said, they're starting to decline a little bit. And we saw this with Portland as well, the other expansion team. These teams surprisingly played better than people expected early on. And I think part of that reason, guys, is the fact that because you put this roster together with a mishmash of different players from different teams, I don't think teams, when they first played these teams, really knew what to expect. And I think it gave the expansion teams a little bit of an advantage. Now that you've got film on them, you've played them, you've seen some tendencies, I think you're going to see that even itself out as we move into the second half of the WNBA season. But with that said, I've got a trend here that I can't ignore. I'm expecting Dallas to be flat tonight. That means slow start, correct? Well, this Dallas team has a tendency of being a slow starter no matter what. They're just 5-17 this year in the first half against the spread. And if you install them as a favorite, that number goes to 1-11 against the spread. Let's go ahead. Let's take Toronto. Now, this line has been moving up because the public is betting Dallas. It was 3.5. It's now 4.5 around town you can get for a first half wager. So I'm going to lock in Toronto first half here.
Care to make things interesting, Marco? Dallas hasn't gotten off to that slow starts in their last couple games. This is wrapping up a road trip. I think Dallas wants to finish this really, really strong. They know this tempo team. So we got to give away a 3-day pass on this one. And it is going to be on the first half of the tempo and the wings. So after the show is over, in the comments section, type Marco if you think the tempo are going to cover the spread and leave your WagerTalk username. Think the wings are going to cover the 3.5 point spread, type Andy and your WagerTalk username, and then we will give away a 3-day pass. Marco got me last week. My turn to get him back this week. So I know what your play is in this next game, and there's no way I was going head-to-head with you on this one. We got to talk about the Sky and the Sparks. These are teams that just defense is optional. This for the season, the Sky is like 9th, and the Sparks are dead last. So I know you want to talk about the total. It's basically a straight pick 'em. So how do you break this one down?
Yeah, well, the interesting part is, these are two of, the bottom half of the WNBA teams hooking up. And ironically, they're both coming off of upsets. Okay, so now you got two teams that aren't good. They're feeling fat and sassy about themselves because they both pulled off upsets in their last games. That tells me, you know what? We got two bad teams hooking up tonight. We're feeling good. I don't think defense is going to show up in the building tonight. To me, this looks like a schoolyard pickup game. They're going to go up and down the floor. Chicago has allowed 90 points or more in 7 of their last 9 games. LA has allowed 90 or more in 6 of their last 8 games. Now we got two bad teams hooking up. Do you want any part of an under? I don't. And, I'm not going to overthink it. And you look at the season trends with these two teams. LA is 14-6 to the over, blindly playing the over. And Chicago's 13-8, blindly to the over. And now they're playing one another. Where are you lining up, Andy? I'm on the over. No sense overthinking it.
I agree completely. I was staring at this one possibly for a little clip. I mean, listen to some of the scores of the Sparks games. 106-92, 111-87, 125-97. That's in regulation. Like 99-83, 111-102. Like these scores don't happen very often in the WNBA, but when the Sparks are playing, it just pops up all the time. So yeah, I'm completely on board with you on this one. So how are your aces doing these days?
We had a little drama here in Sin City this week. Kennedy Carter, who basically probably was, if she could just, stay out of trouble or out of the doghouse, she was going to be a lock for 6th player of the year. This is a trophy that has gone to a Vegas player. It seems like ever since Becky Hammond got here. And she opened the season up first 8-9 games. She was leading the league in points per minute, coming off the bench. And then she had a minor injury followed by a sickness. And then what has followed her every place she's been, guys, she's a cancer in a locker room, plain and simple. And I think she received her last chance to play in the WNBA. Remember, she had to go over to Europe to play last year because nobody picked her up. She was released by the Chicago Sky, was her last stop of many. But Becky gave her a shot here, and she was playing well. But comments in the locker room and a couple post-game interviews, and they released her on Tuesday, waived her for, nothing. And wow. I don't think another team will pick her up. I really don't at this point in time.
How do you blow it that bad? How do you blow that opportunity? That is sad, man. This is
her third or fourth team that this has been with, and she's had, coming out of college, she was a high expectations, high pick. And when she plays, she scored. I mean, she was scoring 17, 18 points off the bench the first 8 games of the season. And it was playing havoc with me for some of my player props, because if you're scoring that many points off the bench, it's taking points away from other key players that, you're not accounting for. So I had to, readjust how the rotations were going and do that. And I cashed a couple on them. I cashed an easy one in the Commissioner's Cup, because if you remember, Asia wasn't in that game. So somebody else had to pick up, there was going to be 30 points, 25 to 30 points floating around for somebody else. And she had just come back from injury, played 2 games and played well in the last one. I said, she's going to get significant minutes. She did. And we cashed the player prop in the third quarter, which is always fun with player props. And then 2 games later, she's gone.
Unbelievable. So I know you got a 4% best bet up, but a couple people are asking if you got anything, was it Saratoga, any horse racing plays, anything you like for this weekend?
We're going to look at the Saturday card. I know I've been getting a few requests. People are itching for some horse action, and I know there's nothing like the Spa here on the East Coast in the summertime. So I'm going to look tomorrow's card over, see if we can find 1 or 2 races that look good. And what I will do is add that to our Saturday, all access package. So you can either grab Saturday, the one day by itself, but why do that, guys? You can pick up right now, 1 day all access is $39. For $69, you'll get 3 days all access. But wait, there's more. Like the late night TV commercials, we'll throw 3 bonus days in there for you for that $69 fee. So you get 6 days, $69. That's the way to go. You lock in every play. You'll get all my baseball, all my WNBA, any 5% plays. We did cash a 5% play last night on an 11-2 run with those plays over the last 4 months. And then 4 and 5% short-term last 3 weeks, 11-4 with those. Got a 4% play tonight. Head on over to WagerTalk to check it out, or go directly to my homepage, wt.buzz/MD. And don't forget, Marco's Deli will be coming up. We'll be taping that as soon as I'm done here, and that'll be released later tonight. We'll look at some Saturday, Sunday action in the WNBA. I'll see if there's anything in baseball I can add there as well, and then head into the All-Star break, guys.
Awesome stuff, Marco. Do you remember? You're talking about, hey, but wait, there's more. Do you remember when banks would give away knives if you opened up a bank account? Do you remember this?
That's way back in the day. Getting. You're not as old as me, Andy. You're going back in the day, my friend.
Yeah, Dan, were you aware of this? Banks would
never privy to the Cutco knife days. No, I was not. No, that's news to me. But hey, whatever to get some nice knives, some nice cutlery. Yeah.
Makes no sense whatsoever. So
open up Marco, a new checking account or get a CD, open a CD up and get a free gift back in the day. Does anybody go into a bank anymore? Well, how often do you actually walk into a bank?
I have to for my production company. We end up with large chunks of cash, and I am the youngest person in there by 30 years. Like it's just all confused older people asking for what's a pin?
Where are my knives?
I had to go this morning, Marco. We're having our big estate sale is tomorrow, me and my business partner, and I need to get a bank of 1s and 5s and 10s and 20s. I was just like, oh my God, I got to go in a bank. And I went in there and there was nobody in there and I couldn't believe it. It was so nice. So so funny. All right.
So you got a 4%. So when you go in and ask for a big wad of 1s, they say, look at this degenerate. I know where he's going.
They know what it's for. Or they know what I tell them.
They know they have no good of those clubs around them, Marco, so they're not worried about that. Andy's in the desert. He's not in Vegas.
So funny. So, all right, Marco, you got a 4% best bet up. Good luck on that one. You can get all of his plays over at WagerTalk.com. Thanks, Marco. Appreciate it.
All right. See you later, guys.
All right, bye. It is true. It is true about the banks. Right? Maybe it's just the banks around me, but that's my general experience in there.
Yeah,
it's either much older people or people like me having to go in and do bigger transactions and things like that. So, all right, let's give out some winners, and then we're gonna the dinger wingers, the dinger wieners, and then we'll go over some World Cup. So who we got?
Yeah, so we'll go back and we'll cross-reference because I got our man blocked in the chat saying he also had Ohtani. So sometimes, guys, the comments are hidden for us. YouTube gets strange that way. So I'll double check and confirm on Monday. But we had down NYC born and all about my Bills. They showed us our dingers. They won. They commented their WagerTalk username. Free 3-day flex passes for them. And we'll go back and we'll check and we'll confirm Monday. We'll clean up any of those winners. And then last one, Andy and I went head to head on pinball for you guys, and we did a live stream on Twitter, and we said, hey, you comment below and we're going to pick a winner. You didn't even have to say anything nice, but Patrick Keelty did say awesome show, and thank you to all. So we appreciate you for watching the show, Patrick. Andy selected you as our pinball winner, so because Andy is a pinball wizard, you get a free 3-day flex pass added to your account right now. However, if we would have stayed on Twilight Zone, I would have liked my chances, Andy. That was my machine. That Twilight Zone pinball machine. That was my machine. I found that there's one of those barcades that's in Philadelphia, and my wife and I are going to Philly for the weekend. So I think I may bone up, and next time we hang out, Andy, I'm coming for the free 3-day flex pass next time we're hanging. That's for sure.
That's where me, my dad, and brother always go to hang out. It's our spot.
Yeah,
one of
them. I love them.
It's
they're cool.
Absolutely great. It's absolutely great. All right, let's talk about Spain and Belgium. I'll go over the same game parlay that I came up with earlier, and I think we are going to put this in. I think we are going to put this in for. Yeah. Okay. We're going to do Spain to qualify. We're going to do under 4.5 total goals. And then we're going to do Spain first to 5 corners. This is the same parlay that is on the same game parlay video that that I released. But Spain, we'll start with the under 4.5 goals. Spain is yet to allow a goal. So for this thing to get over 5, crazy stuff would have to happen. So we like to under Spain. Probably one of the favorites to win the whole thing along with France. They're just a juggernaut right now. Belgium just kind of keeps squeaking through. And they didn't squeak through about the U.S., but let's just say the U.S. didn't exactly push them. And it's just all about the defense. And then the race to 5 corners. I don't even know if Belgium gets to 5 corners. I've got some stats here. In the elimination game, Spain had 7 to Portugal's 3, and against Austria had no corners. Spain didn't give up 1 corner, and Belgium only had 5 against the U.S., only 4 against Senegal. So that's a plus money same game parlay that I think you're behind.
Yeah, and Spain, even in the first half, averaging not only in this competition, but in 2026, over 4.5 corners in the first half alone.
Wow.
And that's just on the Spain side of the equation. So, yeah, in this tournament as well, they've been playing against teams you think that they will be pushing against. And with Belgium, this is a team that there's a lot of revisionist history going on with Belgium because they beat up on a horrible New Zealand team 5-1 to ever even qualify. They had a 1-1 draw against Egypt, a 0-0 draw against Iran, and they were in limbo of even being in the knockout stage. And then they get the job done. And then against Senegal, they get lucky with that comeback. Now, again, I don't say lucky. They earned that comeback. And then they played a U.S. men's national team that I think was just unprepared to play a football match against a quality European side. So I think there's some major revisionist history going on with Belgium. The price reflects that. Spain within the distance, I think is something that I think is in play here. If you want to take them in regulation to bring that juice down. But as far as the corners, I love that one, Andy. We got beat by a fluky result yesterday. Going back to the better team on corners on the handicap, I like that one quite a bit.
All right, let's go to Norway, England. I mean, both teams to score. It's minus 155. I love that one.
Yes.
There is, if you want to do the Holland and Kane same game parlay, that gets you about like a plus 325. That's going to be a popular one tomorrow, and I'm sure they're going to throw Messi into it as well to get you to probably about plus 600. So that'll be a popular play tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This Norway to England game, if you want both teams to score an over 2.5, every single Norway game has gone over 2.5. They can score a bunch. They can also concede. Even in that Brazil game, when the scoring didn't happen until late in the game, still they find a way to hit that over 2.5. And I don't think England really has the defense to slow them down. Let's be real. England was in the driver's seat against Mexico. They still were able to concede twice, back-to-back games, including a game against the Congo, going over that 2.5. So I like goals tomorrow as well. Both teams to score in Norway games. You don't know how long you're going to get to keep cashing it in, so you just keep betting it. So give me that both teams to score. Pair it with whatever you'd like. I personally like Norway to advance. I'm surprised at the price that you're seeing. Don't forget that England also had a send-off in that Mexico game, so they'll be missing one of their players, of course, as they head into this match against Norway. And Norway just keeps getting disrespected in the price of the market. The only loss that they have is a play that they just completely waved the white flag. Typically, that's France who's waving the white flag off the pitch. But on the pitch, Norway said, we don't even want to play the game. I think they're a little bit slept on. You're getting really nice plus money for them to advance. That's one that I fired on as well, Andy. And then Argentina, Switzerland. Switzerland doesn't deserve to be here. Find a way to get down on Argentina. Switzerland has massively overperformed expectation. I don't see how it can continue happening against this Argentinian side, who I also think is a little bit overrated. However, they just keep getting the perfect path for them. Perfect path for them. So that's the way I'm attacking it.
It just feels like there's a team every World Cup, but in almost every tournament where the path just it just breaks for them. And yeah, Argentina so far is that.
And it's usually Argentina.
Yeah, minus 145 to win in 90 minutes. But I'm not doing anything with Switzerland. They would have to A, shut down Messi and company, and B, figure out a way to score on their own. And that's a tough one.
You can just go with the big three, but Haaland, Kane, Messi, 7-1. You get them all three to score.
Yeah, if we are picking an underdog, I think Norway is the one. I don't see Belgium overcoming that Spain defense, and Argentina just seems to have it. It just seems like it's their tournament. But I mean, the biggest winner of the World Cup is Haaland.
Oh, by far.
Erling Haaland. He's become a rock
the
star.
Darling of soccer right now. And I want to hate him because every team that I had futures on, essentially, he said, screw you. He kills me in that Brazil game. 2 goals. That header was incredible. He just lurks. He lurks the entire game. And then just when you think, all hope is lost, Haaland just appears and makes shit happen. It's electric. The thing is, though, if he was from the United States, Andy, he would be a Gronk type tight end. You know what I mean? Like, if he wouldn't be playing soccer if he was born in the United States. He would be an absolute beast tight end for Ohio State and then go on to be one of the best tight ends in the NFL. That's what he would be doing if he was stateside.
Oh, so funny. Social media darling of the World Cup. So
he is.
All right, that's going to do it for us. Went a little long. I got a big day and an even bigger day tomorrow. Wish me luck on this estate sale, Dan. I'm going to be pretty excited about it. Yep. I'll probably turn the cameras on and go live on X if you guys want to see it. So we'll be starting bright and early. But for sports betting businesses, we got our prop pack that is up. We got a plus money lacrosse play as well as MLB. Both those sports are running really, really well this year in the props market. 13-4 run in MLB props. Dan's gone 35-22 on lacrosse. And don't forget, after the show, make sure you put your name, your WagerTalk username, and whether you think Marco or Andy is going to win the bets tonight. Grab some specials, get 3 days and get 3 days free. So you're getting 6 days for half price. Get a huge weekend, and we'll be back on Monday to recap everything and get next week started off with some winners. Good luck on your bets. We'll see you everyone Monday. Take care.